I was never really good at school, but from this week, I learned that there are so many different teaching styles and there's so many different ways to present a situation, and focusing on your strengths and weaknesses and how you can make your weaknesses better and play to your strengths is the most important thing. This whole week, I learned so much and absorbed so much, especially from Olivia Fox. She's now one of my favorite speakers. Learning about charisma, visual aids, and verbally citing sources. Those three things are all something that I've already learned in the past, and now I just have a substantial amount of information that's beyond my reach. I didn't think I would ever be able to get to the point where I could fully talk about all these three topics, nor would I even necessarily want to speak about these topics. But now that I know more about it, I want to conquer these three topics and apply them to my speeches and apply them to life. Learning from videos, watching more videos on Olivia Fox, watching more presenters, examples of visual aids, and examples of how you can verbally cite sources are all things that made me confident today to speak in front of all of you on this camera or phone. Let's start with charismatic. Where to begin? This topic was by far my favorite topic. Olivia Fox dives deep into how being a charismatic person can reach to the next level, boost your confidence, boost who you are, and be a genuine human, and also try to avoid all those frustrations and your weaknesses. Play to your strengths. She is inspiring, educational, and charismatic. Those three things is how she went up in front of people in a conference room and then posted it, or maybe somebody else posted it. Somehow this video became online. She wrote a couple books. I actually got one of her books. I haven't read it yet, but I know I will learn so much information because of the studies she's done and her playing to her strengths. She was able to take herself and build a platform and be a charismatic person, be a genuine person, at least what I can see on the screen. How am I going to apply this to all my speeches? I'm going to absorb her information, and most importantly, I am going to apply being charismatic to my speeches to entice my audience even more. That's why this topic is so important, to be charismatic and to learn about how to be charismatic. Visual aids. Visual aids is something that takes your speech to the next step. And honestly, from what I've learned in school, visual aids look like a PowerPoint presentation. And honestly, I remember going through the templates and being like, the teal one. The teal one was always the one to use. It shot out of the water. It looked organized. It looked clean. From now, I know actually not to use templates and that slideshows suck. And honestly, I remember sitting in class and trying to get through the slideshows. I remember I liked speaking in front of other people, but when someone came on that maybe their presentation was a little bit too lengthy and there was too many words on the screen, I got overwhelmed. So I'm so glad that this is now going to be something that is important to me. And I think that the TED Talk that I learned from Gar Reynolds, he did a great job on explaining and comparing side by side on a great visual aid and a poor visual aid, and how he can apply that and how we can apply that to all of our presentations. I love that he went into depth about camera and how he went through that. I've played around on film, and I think that film is a really cool use of texture and a use of visual aid. Verbally citing sources. This one is really direct, really to the point, and this topic definitely encouraged me. We've all cited sources in the past, whether it be an essay or a paper, whatever it is. I remember citing sources and using EasyBib and putting it. No, for this, you got to do it the hard way. You got to write it down. Don't take the easy route. There's a short versus long way, depending on what speech you choose. The short way is trying to get all that information and kind of in a broad statement or a shortened statement, where the long is broadened and you're going to go into more lengthy detail about whoever you're speaking about to verbally cite your source. Credibility as a speaker is something that is so important, and each week I learn how more important it gets the farther you go along. So credibility as a speaker is something that is going to add to your speech, especially when you verbally cite a source, right? Today, through this video, we were able to learn about charisma, visual aids, and verbally citing sources. All three of these things have proven through education and hopefully through my video that you can understand that all three of these are going to take your speech to the next level and will take my speech to the next level. No matter what I learned in school, now I know that there is not one solid answer nor one solid way of teaching. So remember that. Keep educating yourself and play to your strengths and learn from your weaknesses. By the way, this is my outline. I feel more confident the more I do my outline. I tend to write a lot, so I would love some feedback for my outline if you have any. Thanks.